because it's
Also,
great.
Level 9.
Can that be the cold open?
Oh, I wish it was.
It was close.
I
It
wish
was
it
very
was.
close.
So good.
And it was
To be-
me. I should have done it. Rewind. Bing bong. Hey, what's up, TPK?
Oh, no! Did that. Oh, no. Let me finish this.
Cold opens are great. We're hilarious. This is great. How's
I'm
TPK
so out of
doing tonight?
practice for this.
Welcome back to Queen's Gambit. This is our Tyranny of Dragons campaign. And we're already having a doozy. I'm that Magic Juice. Some people believe it's okay for me to be in charge of this. They're not wrong yet, I think. So, we are... Yeah, we're back to artwork for 2 players for now. We decided with the game plan to go ahead with at least with starting the show about on time. We do have Hyacinth gone for the evening, so we will have a general sort of group-based piloting of him and his character to keep that as honest as possible, so that his character's still involved with everything that's going on. Same for Juno until Corndog McGraw does return tonight. She should be with us relatively soon. But that's enough of that. Let's go around the table with the 3 of us that are here. Introduce yourselves and your characters, and then we'll do a quick recap of last session. Heck, who are you?
Hey everybody, it's me, Sir Heckalot, Tonight I am playing Aster, the Shifter Circle Wildfire Druid, as per usual. Moving on over to Niffer, who's here.
Back. Hopefully I'm back more consistently from now on, weather permitting. So I am Nifernif. I am playing Eliseo Villarin, who they are a time wizard who just made it to level 8 and now hopefully immediately onto level 9, right?
There's a big team push for level right. Words are hard. Level 9 right now. And
he said it, level 9 right now. Everyone do it. Level up.
This is not cold hands where if you
Got
say
him.
it 3 times it's canon, okay?
Got him. But anyways, next to me is Twin 2, and then beyond that is Twin 1. We miss them and love them very much. But next on to... It's you.
That's me. I was muted. Hi, guys. I'm Chrissy. I'm playing Ulta Kregmal, our Kobold Ranger, Swarmkeeper Ranger, Golden Dragon, Heartstone Ranger. Also hoping for level 9.
Big push for that. I see. All right.
Levels is fun.
Levels is fun.
It's not exciting for me as a ranger because doing like feats and stuff is not exciting. So when we do levels, when I get the things is more exciting.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let us do
Exciting
more
is
fun
exciting.
things.
We do plenty of fun things. If you have not noticed, thank you very much. Chat, back me up on
we
this.
fought Xanathar.
I've been gone for a while. I don't know. I haven't gotten to do anything fun recently.
All right. So we are, as I'm figuring out, here we are. We are in Waterdeep after an overnight that had followed a rather eventful trek of discovery through the mysterious Vault of Dragons, hidden underneath Waterdeep. You had discovered that a dragon indeed had been guarding this vault with an amassing a lot of treasure. You're met with one person who referred to himself as a guide. It was more of a spirit form, at least to you guys. And yes, then you got to fight the undead Xanathar, as well as several of his goonies who had tunneled underneath the city to find your location at this vault. At the end of that fight, Rydoth intervened to get one last interaction with the Kingpin himself to try and get some information on, like, why are you doing this? What's your motive here? And Xanathar had an eerie message. And for anybody who had not been around for our initial episode of this session, the message that Xanathar had was basically a sort of replay of our introduction at the beginning of this campaign. So, Ulta now has a golden dragon soulstone that transforms her into this super awesome dragon knight thing. There was a shared vision among everybody from Bahamut himself, who had essentially said, "You guys are chosen. Have fun." And anything else that you guys want to add to that before we jump right into what's next?
Level 9?
Not yet.
Okay, then no.
I know you guys are going to keep asking because I am the you won't know if you don't ask kind of person. So I have brought this on myself.
Truly, to some degree, you have.
Also, I learned this from the school of if I just keep asking and keep asking, my dad will say yes. So, like, you will too, right?
I'm not your dad. I stand by what I said.
There's a joke there. I'm not gonna say it, but there's a joke.
So what's happening, guys? It is the morning after all of that stuff happened. So you've had your long rest. It sounds like your plan is to go north, following some more leads. But we are opening with you guys at at your rooms in the inn.
As I recall, my wife wanted a bath.
Yes, Juno
and
wanted a
a
bath.
letter.
Juno gets a bath. And in her own words, because she's still thinking about the nasty sewers that you had to trudge through to get to the necromancer. So that was neat. So Juno gets a bath. Insert roleplay of the imagination here.
And go to a Moonweaver temple. So LSO probably would have gone with her for that, for support.
Okay.
Because get the feeling that's needed. But yeah, after that, I have nothing more to do. We were supposed to wait for instructions, or
I thought we were waiting for the tally of how much we had gotten, and then we were waiting for them to go to the council, but I don't know that we needed to be present for that. I don't remember that part. Heck might remember that bit better.
I think it's more of like they can send a message of the results is like kind of what my impression of it was, and like we can kind of just go on to what we were going to do next, because we already know
We wanna go
forces
north.
from this cult are going north already, and there's
Yeah.
already things happening up north.
hooray, north.
Yeah. In the meantime, I think Aster would just like check up on Seymour a little bit more, just to see how he's doing. Do I need to like, resoil like his little spot on my staff or anything? Or
Yeah. So make an investigation check, Aster.
ooh, okay.
Well, actually, perception. This is going to be perception.
I was like, please.
Yeah.
My investigation is not very good. Okay, 25. Let's do it.
Okay, and let's pause before the result is not going to change. Just a matter of timing of things. Would you be wanting to do this, like sticking around at the inn while Juno and Eliseo are going to the temple, or do you all want to be joining at that venture when it happens?
I don't think Asher would really have a need to go to the temple, so she'd probably just be sticking around wherever like we're going to meet together and then go off north, probably.
Okay. So then Ulta, and I will have to make an assumption for Icarus. We'll let the team decide. Is Icarus going to go to the temple or stay with Aster?
I believe at the end of last game, Icarus had said that they had done all the purchasing that they need to do.
Okay.
So they weren't necessarily interested in going anywhere. I would assume that they would be fine with going with their twin and significant other to the temple.
Okay, and then Ulta, same question for you.
This is a good question. I think at the end of last game, I stole No, I didn't steal. How did I pilfer weird meat from the one butcher? Didn't I?
It was trickery, but you got an assortment of meat.
You did make an agreement that ended up being a fair trade in good faith with him. So you didn't steal.
Okay.
Actually, I think you overpaid.
Everybody got
If I'm not
creative with
mistaken.
it. Yeah.
All right. Sounds about right.
So you have an assortment of samples of meat.
Okay. I would probably, before leaving town, even if we just hung out and did not do much at the Yawning Portal, before leaving, would go to that same butcher, purchase a few more things for the road for Sunrunner that I know he now appreciates a little bit more than crickets and dried granola.
Okay, so I have a 3-way split. Aster's still at the end, Ulta's going to get some more goodies, and everybody else is going to the temple. Okay, temple crew.
I will proceed to roleplay all three of us right now. No.
If you don't want to, that's cool. We can just kind of... I just want to give it the time just to make sure in case anything specific does come up. But generically, it will be a visit to the temple. Juno is... I'm looking at... She's leaving an offering of something looted. Corndog, if you are in the chat, please tell me if I'm wrong about this, but I'm assuming you mean something looted from the vault. You do have some stuff that you'd taken from the vault. So I'm going to assume it's something from that. And maybe something not significant enough that we have to like keep track of major inventory implications. But you are making an offering. Tell me if I'm wrong about that. And then, LSAO, is there anything else that you would want to have involved with that?
No.
Okay. And I think we probably should assume the same, aside from some whippy comments from Icarus. And then let's go to Aster. So back at the inn, you are where?
Probably more like at like the entry level floor with like the actual Yawning Portal and the bar and everything.
Okay, and you're checking out your staff and just kind of hanging out? Okay. Perception check was 25. Seymour has grown a bit more. He still fits on the section of the end of your staff that you sort of like laid out. I think you described it as kind of having like a bowl-ish shape, so you were able to put some dirt there, and he could just kind of, for lack of a better word, plant there. And hang out. So now he's got like 2 little legs sticking out and hanging over the edge. And instead of 1 little tuft with like a single leaf, he's got like 3 now. And all of them are branching into a couple of small leaves instead of just the one by itself. And he's still got the quirky little, like, kind of bending, looking around personality. But now you can see his little feet, his, like, branch legs kicking. Like, he's just having a grand old time riding along. But he's getting bigger. So that'll be something.
It's the baby Groot that's dancing along.
Yeah, like... I don't know what we're gonna do when he outgrows this, but we'll figure out something.
He will carry you so soon.
Yeah, maybe. I love my little plant son.
We all do.
Okay.
You could just get him a baby Bjorn.
He could probably graft himself a
go.
little baby Bjorn.
Yeah.
This is true. Look at us. Big thinkers. That's level 9 thinking.
Yeah. Level 9? Yeah.
We need a tally. Oh man, I wish I was really good at like on the fly making a command. Level 9 request tally. Anywho. Aster, anything else for you while you're still here?
That's mostly it. Like, I'm just helping him like maintain anything. Like, if I have to change out the soil or anything like that, I'll do that. Give water, all that stuff. That's about it.
Awesome. While you're doing that, Astriel will actually walk in the door and take one quick sweep of the room and notice you, and without a hitch, just immediately start to approach you with a few more of her usual sort of report papers in hand. Is it just you for now?
Yes, it's good to see you, Astriel. How did everything go?
Well, many things still pending. Unfortunately, the council has a few yet hesitant individuals to hop onto essentially believing everything that has happened, let alone the cause itself and what may be coming. However, I believe we will have majority enough support to move forward after some more deliberating just to make sure.
Well, it's good to hear. I mean, honestly, everything that's happened so far has been so unbelievable, despite seeing it with my own eyes.
Yes, it's, well, this is the most involved in the field I've been in a while. It's refreshing in that manner, but I fear for the bigger picture. And can't thank you all enough for everything that you've done to this point. And that she'll like look at her, what she's got in her hand and continue, and what you'll hopefully continue to do.
Hopefully, I mean, from what the others and I have talked about, we don't really plan on stopping here. We're hopefully going north pretty soon.
That sounds perfect. We'll send our other groups out east for the time being then. And I do, fortunately, have some more information on what I had alluded to yesterday. And she'll hand you the top piece of paper. So yesterday in game, you got a very little. There was a band of orcs in the north. One of them is Bog Luck. Eliseo, you recognize this name.
Yes, I do.
And what else? I have lost the note.
What is it that we know about Bogluck?
That he is of orc. And
He's a half-orc, but,
leads the
like-
band of orcs.
Okay. So we are going to his location.
He's been seen, in particular. So that, I mean, if nothing else, that should say that other people recognized him specifically.
Well, listen, I just got the spell locate creature, so yes, we are going to him.
Nice.
Eliseo wants to know your location.
Awesome. And then confirmation of like the sickening wood, but still as generic and cryptic that as what you guys have heard to this point. So now, Aster, what you see on this piece of paper is a few bulleted points. Rumors of half-dragons in the city. Rumors of half-dragons, one of which was confirmed as seen in the city. Necromancers from Thay gathering in the far north mountains. A cult leader named Severin. And this hand note is kind of like scribbled in as if it was like an afterthought. And something about worm speakers being able to subtly influence dragons beyond bribery and negotiation. And then last but not least, the Mirror of Dead Men, a destination of the cult caravans and the source of the sickening wood. I will copy and paste that all into our Discord chat.
Perfect.
That's great.
It's like I can't write that fast. Okay.
Our love language is written text here.
There you go.
Boy, thank you.
So you have the opportunity to read that and respond if you choose to. And if you don't, I don't mean to like push you to.
Oh no, you're totally fine. Okay.
Have we heard of Severin before?
It's like that's what I was trying
I
to think.
feel like I have, but I can't remember if it's this game or something else.
Yeah.
I do not recall this name coming up in this game.
I'm going
I also
crazy.
do not recall.
If anyone has notes from past sessions that say otherwise, then we will correct that. But that's my understanding to this point.
I mean, even if I did, it wouldn't say Severin in it. So
Yeah, I mean, I think, Aster would just straight up ask Astriel, is there anything more about this Severin? For some reason that sounds familiar, but I don't know why. I don't know why it would.
Just before we encountered you in the vault yesterday was the first time I had seen this name cross my reports. It's not much, but it is more than we had on the leadership of the cult itself than before that. So, I figured it would be at least not harmful to give you as much as I have.
Of course. Well, this is definitely more than we knew before, so again, thank you.
Rydoth did want me to tell you specifically. He is returning to his home for the time being. The Wood of Sharp Teeth. It said something about checking on its health. I can only assume it's related to this sickening ground, sickening wood that we keep hearing about. I'm not sure why he wanted you to know that, but I can also say that he deeply respects you and sees a lot of potential in your abilities. As do all of us in all of you.
Aster tries to contain her excitement a little bit. It's trying to contain the eye sparkle just a little bit. And to say that means quite a lot. I didn't set out here knowing much or knowing what I was really going to do to learn, but I feel like I've learned a lot, both from you, both from my party members, just everybody. I'm very happy with all of it. This wood, though, the sickness is spreading. We did see some of that sickness south of Waterdeep. We had an encounter with it.
Oh, you saw it yourself?
Yes, it was very mild, I guess, from what else we've heard is what's happening to the north. And this vision I kind of had in this encounter before.
She has plopped down at this point, pulled out some more empty paper and an inkwell, and is viciously writing word for word what you're saying.
I tried my best, at least south of here, to heal this wood back, or at least help. But something is deeply rooted to the north, and I think it's spreading.
Do you have any more specific indication of a heading than north?
That's a great GM question. I don't think I did, right?
You didn't.
No, okay. Just the feeling of north.
Any indication of what might be causing it and what consequences might befall us if it continues?
Whatever might befall us, I know it's very bad. I'm not entirely sure what could have caused it, but it was very strange that we also saw Eder caps kind of close by. You don't really see those around here, or on the surface.
I have only heard reports of them, but I understand them to be foul and wild creatures.
They were indeed strange. I can't say I saw them before, or ever have seen them before that encounter.
I will add this to the combined reports of this particular event happening around us. You know, between this and the Undermountain and everything to the mountains to the east and the north, the wrong mind might think the world was ending around us.
That'd be strange, wouldn't it?
I certainly hope so. Well, in any event, thank you again for everything. We will be in contact. And please,
Of course.
stay the course.
You as well.
All right. She's going to leave you with that piece of paper she handed you. And walk out with just as much purpose as she initially came in with. Let's jump to Ulta. Is there anything in particular you wanted to go through with getting more delicacies for your tiny dragon friend?
So I would probably say Ulta would go back to that same butcher.
Mm-hmm.
And just be like, hi again. Don't worry, nothing weird this time. Just need a few pieces of fresh meat, and if you have anything dried, that would be great. And pay them accordingly.
Nothing weird at all. I've seen far stranger bargaining techniques. At least you paid fairly. It's more than I can say for most. And he'll go into this display that we had mentioned last time and just sort of sliver off a few slightly larger than last time pieces of the cuts that are fresh, and in the sort of front of everything else. Hand them off to you. 2 silver.
Cool. Yeah. And also, do you have any of those thick bones with the marrow in the center?
Ah, somebody knows what the good stuff is. He'll actually turn around and head to a back room for just a minute, and you'll hear some crunching and splintering, and then like a big thud as if a massive butcher's knife was crashing against a wooden table, among other things, a couple times. And he'll come out with actually a small hand, like a bundle between both of his hands. How many do you need?
Let's just start with 2.
5 silver.
I will hand him 5 silver.
Anything else?
Nope. And as I'm walking out, I'm going to drop one of those marrow bones into the pocket with Sunrunner.
Nice. You'll actually see your bag will squirm a little bit.
Yeah.
Subtle enough that he doesn't recognize, though.
Oh, well, at this point, I think I've made it weird enough, so. Yeah, and then I'll just head back to the yawning portal and wait, have a couple of cups of warm tea, and wait for everybody to return from temple.
Okay. You'll see Aster sitting at an obvious in the sort of big common area table. And then we'll say that you're arriving about the same time Eliseo, Juno, and Icarus are as well. So now you are all back at the yawning portal.
Welcome back, everybody. You just missed Astriel. She just left, but I got to compare notes a little bit. I'll relay that information to them.
Good.
So,
Are
like
we-
worms, like real worms, like worms in the dirt, or worms like serpent dragons?
Worms like
Like
dragons.
serpent dragon.
Worms like
Cool, cool,
dragons.
cool,
We
cool.
are
Sure.
not that lucky.
Yeah, I didn't assume. Think so. I was hopeful though.
Yeah.
There's so much happening, and it all seems unrelated, but it can't be a coincidence that's all happening at once, right?
I mean, maybe the goal is finding the one thing that's connecting it all. I think that's, the bigger plot here.
Juno happens to ask what Lysol is doing right now, and where our Harper's connection is.
For those of you at home who don't recognize the pet names that we tend to give everybody that I throw at this
Check
group.
him out. That's his real name.
I'll be honest, I forgot what that one was.
Leosin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leosin Erlenthar.
One of our very first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our first friend.
That is
See, I recognize Leosin.
that is the half-elf friend that we met very early in the campaign, who is we found out later is essentially the Astriel Rydoth Onthar equivalent for the Harpers Association. So we haven't seen or heard from him. He hasn't been involved in anything that we've done in Waterdeep. If I recall correctly, the last thing you heard was that he had to leave Greenest in a hurry. No, he did flag you down and bring you in to meet
like,
these guys for the first
saw
time
him again.
Yep,
Yeah.
but has since not been around.
Okay. I just checked, and Lysol was in session 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Shenanigans from a year ago. But anyways, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything else?
Do we have anything else to do here? Because otherwise, like, hey.
Yeah, I think it might be time to.
That is.
I'm sorry, I have a lot of feelings to get out.
Okay, we'll
I
get
don't think
Everybody-
I've ever seen you so eager to leave civilization, Eliseo.
No, just, a lot of names have been dropped, and, like, not the biggest fan of those names.
what names.
Lysol? No. No. Just I'm familiar with, like, Juno has told me about what happened to her dad, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so-
Icarus. They have
Yeah.
overlapping accounts, but different details, and I believe they've
Yes.
both told you all about all of it.
They do, in fact, have the same father that they just recently lost. So, yeah, I feel like LSA would be like, hey, so, like, can we get moving on those things? We have things to take care of between their family and my family, I guess. Right?
Yep.
Of course.
Mostly just asking for the clarification so that, one of those things, because I'm not super, Ulta's not super privy to said stories. So is this like a shoot on sight kind of thing? Is this we need to infiltrate?
I'm
Is
scrolling
this
back through
a-
chat to find out right now.
Should we, do you want to give us some sort of like word signal, hand gesture, something that we know it's fucking go time?
Report of orc activity similar to those who had killed Juno and Icarus's father. So how do Juno and Icarus feel about them orcs?
I think Juno is listening, so I'll wait for her to
Yep.
respond. And if she doesn't, then I think that is important enough that we should wait until she's back.
I'm like,
and
well,
not-
Juno's
not
typing
assume
right
too
now,
much.
so
Yeah.
We'll wait for
Love that.
a Juno answer, just so that
Yeah.
Ulta, because if our next team
Not a shoot on sight.
Okay, all right.
Not a
thank
shoot on
you,
sight.
Juno. Appreciate that.
LSAO's general philosophy is like all underlings who are probably just following orders we should never kill. People at the top, we can think less about that.
So, with that thought in mind, Niffer, I would like to reconcile a little bit of thin information that I think should have been more robust when we were setting up backgrounds in the first place.
Okay, because I was
So-
given a list of 3 names and I didn't know like how in depth I know about these names.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
having that same thought as I was kind of rereading everybody's backgrounds and history again. And I think that it would be absolutely fair to say that you should know more than just those names. Because if you had put them onto a list, you should know some things, right? So let's have you make a history check.
Okay.
And I'm going to sort of tier stuff that you may or may not know based on the result. And along with that, I'll need you and everybody to make a perception check, please.
Why?
You'll find out.
I'm doing a
It's
history
not very
check.
level 9 of
You are doing a history check for the history of your background, knowing things about names. I'm sorry,
I have to
Chrissy, what was
history
that?
check myself.
I was just talking shit.
You said
Okay.
it's not very level 9 of you.
But I realized you guys were saying important things, so I didn't want to repeat it. So.
Okay.
Good. You caught me.
So history, even in my own self, is not something I'm trained in. So that's only a 15.
Okay. It's actually still really good compared to what I was putting everything
All
at.
of my other intelligence skills I have proficiency in, so they're all +8 or more.
Nice.
And I'm feeling a little bit like, oh, I could do so much better.
So your 3 names are Bogluck, Resmir, and the third.
Hang on. I have it. Frulemondath. Resmir, girl, half dragon black. I've seen her before. And Bogluck, half orc. Lots of question marks after that. That's
Okay.
what I got.
So Frulemondath you have encountered.
Is that Purple Mad?
Purple Mad. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know that she is among an order of warriors who sit very high within the dragon cult. And at the time that you had
Left the
timeline.
dragon cult?
Sorry?
Left the dragon cult?
No.
Okay.
Still very much involved. But you would also know that recently this order had obtained what you have now seen as these shadow powers. Like rumors of it had been rippling through the cult and like what their capabilities are.
Yeah. Did I find this before I left the cult?
No.
Like
this
15 years ago.
This would have been recently, but
Good deal.
yeah, definitely well after you left the cult.
Good deal.
Bogluck.
Hang
You
on, I'm
just-
still writing Purple Mad.
Okay.
I'm very sorry.
No
I'm
worries.
trying to write everything down, but I can't listen and write at the same time.
All good.
Recently learned cool shadow powers. Good deal. Okay, proceed.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Bogluck.
I can't even make a joke out of this guy's name because it already is.
Yep. Half orc, basically general, and that at least his band of orcs are hired by the cult. So they're like cult adjacent.
I love that phrase. Cult adjacent.
Not directly in the Cult of Dragons, but definitely like mercenary group working with the Cult of Dragons.
Merc orcs.
Merc orcs.
Morks.
Morks. Okay.
Morks.
And then finally we land at Resmir.
Yep.
One of at least 4 extremely rare half dragons at the apex of leadership for the cult.
Meaning is the leadership or is about to become leadership?
With your 15, that is kind of up in the air, but you know that they are very, very near the top, if not at the top, above the order of
And-
warriors that Purple Mad is.
Yeah, my previous notes say female half dragon black. And
That
I've
is
seen
Resmi.
her before, and she outranks Cyan Wrath.
Yes.
Good deal. Okay. And then perception, I got a 19.
Okay, and then everybody else's perception 25, 23.
Hi, my roll 20 stopped working, but it was a 17 if you want to check the D&D Beyond.
Okay. No worries. So between all of you, actually at second glance of this report that Aster was given, Aster, at first you were really focused on these points that were, bulleted out for you. But then as you guys are sort of passing it around and checking it out, you actually notice a quick, small handwritten note at the bottom that says, essentially, you have options. Okay. Option to be hired as escorts to wagons for the cult, or try to follow covertly. And then next to it is a name, Ardred Brifferhue. Gonna copy and paste that for you guys.
That's not what the name's going to be in about 30 seconds.
At the High Road Charter Company. Okay, Ulta, I'm gonna rely on you guys to if that's conversation happening that we need to have happen here. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure if it was about the game or if Corndog's just
I am
catching up.
clarifying what my character knows.
Okay, sweet. Awesome. So what's next for you?
I think this is where we decide if we go quietly into the night or try to join them.
Do not go quietly into a good night. Anyways,
I'm glad someone got it. That was very good.
thank you. Listen, I love that poem. Anyways, so like the question
joining
is
the
if we
ranks
try to
now, though.
pretend to be the cult still?
Much like what you did on the way here, yes.
Yep.
Which
Didn't
did
go
seem to
terribly
pan
bad.
out. Yes.
Yeah, LSAO wouldn't be happy about it, but like they did see it was effective, so they would go along with it.
Let's clarify this a bit, because that's actually not a very correct statement. It would not be very much like what you did here.
Oh.
What you did to come here was basically pose as cultists. You stole a cart and posed as cultists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I need to
Right.
correct this so I don't give you guys the wrong idea. I'm sorry. This would be like legitimately getting hired by this company to take the carts. And Astriel has divulged that we know these are cult carts.
So there is not as much ability for assistance on the road. Is that what you mean? Because the last time it came with a little helpful human, or not human, I can't remember what she is. It
We
came
talked
with a
about Jamna?
Jamna? Yeah, the
Can we
half-
keep Jamna?
Jamna, we keep kind of forgetting this, including myself. She is with you right now.
Will she stay with us? Because like that's my comfort object right now. I need an assassin as like a comfort thing.
She is hyper focused with staying on board and coming with you guys. Yep.
Oh yay! DMPC.
So yes, this would be not going undercover as cultists. This would be getting hired
Getting
by
actual-
a
yeah.
city business that has been contracted to go, like to provide escorts and transporters for these carts.
Yeah, so I guess what I
We
would
would
say to the
actually
group
work
is,
for the cult.
yeah, is that we would not be able to necessarily rely on all of our outside help as much. We would be expected to do the work things as workers.
You may test that assumption at your convenience.
I'm not really feeling like actually working for the cult again.
Juno says, yeah, let's go get a job.
Juno also shouted,
Thanks, wife.
go quietly into the night first.
Changed her mind real
Juno's
quick.
had a
It's
long
like,
night.
go quietly. Wait, we still have the ropes. Ooh, yeah, let's go get a job. Like, the progression of that.
Well, I'm
What do you
perfectly
think?
comfortable with either one. I am confident in our abilities to sneak around.
Yeah, what's the
Um,
alternative to like working for the cult that like did a lot of bad things?
Is tracking them
stalking
down
them.
and then following them sneakily.
I mean, you're good at tracking. Most of us are stealthy. I look at Icarus.
Yeah, I'm perfectly confident in that ability. Although, like, the upside to getting hired is that this is apparently a trusted company. So if we're hired by them, I feel like we could fall into the ranks pretty easily and be unseen. Either
I
one,
wonder
though.
what the hiring process looks like.
If we're giving
Is there an
references,
interview?
I
Do
can't.
we need a resume? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. is,
Too much
like,
real world. It's
yeah,
stressing
like,
me
what
out,
if-
man.
What if they're like, yeah,
All
come
of us are like, okay, we're gonna write our resumes on screen. Here we go.
Where's the cover letter?
Ulta, you
Hi.
would know. Maybe you might not know this company explicitly, but you would be familiar with the practice of like short-term contracts, especially through Waterdeep, as being a sort of like central point between north and south. There is a lot of trade that travels through and around here, so you know that this kind of business would be predicated on like whoever shows up on these 2 days for both, needing to have hired transport as well as would like to be hired for transport. It's like, do you have a massive criminal record? No? Okay, here's the pay. Go ahead.
And that way we won't need W-2s at the end of the year either.
Pretty much.
all under the table.
Okay, we're gonna pivot from that real world.
I was mostly more concerned that like some mage wasn't gonna step out from the back doors and be like, "Zone of truth, who the fuck are all of you?"
Yeah, if we have to give a resume, my only resume is, hi, I ran away from you 15 years ago and quit without giving notice, and now would like my job back, please, thanks. That wouldn't work.
Okay, so going back to tabling this as a vote.
Corn Dog, if you're still listening, if you could tell us what your final vote is, that would be helpful.
Get job or
I-
be sneaky.
Honestly, don't know what Icarus would say.
I think that Icarus would be like, oh yeah, I'm totally really good at being sneaky. We can totally do that. And all of us would be like,
I also feel like Icarus would say, I
oh
could
yeah, we
disguise
should get
myself
jobs.
and
Yeah.
totally get a job and look
Icarus
just
is
like
such a
all of them.
wild card.
Yes.
Ball of chaos. Okay, well, let's take Icarus's assumed vote last. Where are you guys
Yeah.
landing on this?
Maybe we won't need a tiebreaker.
I think Ulta would probably prefer a quieter route. For the sake of if we need to call on allies, being able to. Not that we're going to have a ton of allies or allyship, but if we need to be like contacting people, we could do so a little bit easier, just us, rather than in a cart with possibly other workers or people who join us or whatever the case is. But I will absolutely go get a job as well, but they're going to have to pay me really well.
And have really good benefits.
Really good.
If they don't even have dental, just
Yeah,
don't
like
talk to me.
dental, come on.
I'm gonna need
Anyway.
9
Yeah.
gold.
Aster thinks the same thing. He's going to vote for the quiet route.
LSA would prefer not to get a job working for the cult that murdered their family.
Yeah, I also figured that.
But also, LSAO is the type to be like, I'm going to just sit down and shut up and wait for what everyone else says because they don't want to be like, I have a moral opposition to this when everyone else is fine with it. So they would just kind of be like hoping that other people said they wanted to go stealthily, and they did. So like, yay. So yeah, LSAO would kind of nod along with both of them saying they want to be stealthy. And we have not heard from Juno yet. Oh, she's kidding. Going
She's
dark.
driving. Can't text and drive. Be safe.
Don't text and drive.
To be fair, it's 3 against 2 either way. So
Ha
stealthy it is.
ha!
Quietly
No jobs
into the
for
night.
us.
We remain
no.
unemployed.
Hooray! Who needs to get a real job? I don't think LSAO's actually ever had a real job. They've just been a library bum.
A rather expensive one too, actually. Now that we
It's
think
true.
about it.
I'm costing somebody a lot of money out there. Anyways, so again, away from real life, we're not gonna get jobs.
Yeah,
We're gonna
so it looks
sneak
like
out. Do we need to
maybe-
like sneak out starting from inside Waterdeep, or is it just kind of like we just casually stroll out the door and then zip off to the side and be stealthy?
Well, I think finding mounts would be smart.
Mhm.
Spending some time prepping for long distance travel.
Buying supplies and food and stuff.
Maybe getting eyes on the place where they are hiring people to see what days they are leaving and all of the things like that.
I have a familiar that will collect that information for me. I remembered. It is
Okay.
past the 1 hour mark into stream, which is, I think, the earliest I've remembered. I always forget that I have a familiar.
Yeah, and then
Well,
we do all
yeah,
that
so-
and head
So
out.
Puff would maybe like go try and collect information, and he would tell me when he got back what he saw.
Okay, I'm going to need you to be a bit more specific than that. We can absolutely do it.
Puff takes out a tiny notebook and with his little claw writes down everything that he hears and gives
so
the
what
note to
kind
me
of-
when he's done.
No.
You said be more specific. How
Yep.
more specific do you want me to be?
So the kind of more specific we're looking for is where is Puff going? When is this happening?
Where do we think those people are getting hired? That's a question for the party, but if the GM
Ulta-
would like to answer that.
I don't think I've mentioned this, but Ulta would know that this happens near the North Gate, which is an entry-exit point of trade goods.
Okay. Then, yeah,
Northgate.
Eliseo would probably like walk there first, like casually, just to look like a normal Waterdavian, and then leave Puff there once they have kind of identified this is where those conversations would be.
Okay.
And like the rest of you can be like supplying up or doing other things while Eliseo does that. So
Yeah.
what else do we need to do besides that?
We need to pick up our Waterdeep Black Card
No.
for use
Yeah.
in other cities. So
And also we need to get to level 9. So
How many is there now?
at least 6.
Someone in the comments later give us the final number.
There you go. Okay, so
yeah, I mean, Ulta would probably head to the bank, take some money out, so they had some coin on them for travel, but then just do the supply runs, grabbing rations, making sure Sunrunner had everything, Seymour has everything, you know. If there's any last requests for parchments, inks, things like that.
I have my cool magic ink, but like I always love paper. I would like to learn new spells. Hi, Cat.
Would you like an itemized list, DM?
Yes, please.
Shit.
Thanks for the raid.
Hi, Raiders.
While we're making itemized lists.
Thanks for the raid, honeybee. Melt the honeybee. I thought it said melt the honeybee, and I was slightly horrified for a second.
Listen, I think you
Save
can
the
correct me if I'm
honeybees.
wrong, but isn't Mel the honeybee? Isn't that an artist? Are you an artist, Mel the honeybee? I feel like they might be. I feel like they may be the person who did my art for. It's a
Enjoy the
similar
cat,
name.
everyone.
Oh.
Thanks for
Yes,
raiding.
see, they are
It
the artists.
is.
They're
Yay.
phenomenal artists. You should
Oh,
check out all
nice.
of their stuff. They did my art for City Mist.
Awesome.
Oh,
I thought I
oh my
recognized
gosh,
the
that
name. I'm
whole
sorry I
cast.
didn't
Oh my
recognize
gosh.
it.
We love your work.
Yes, you're great.
Okay, back to an itemized list. I'm sorry, I have to pay attention.
That's okay. So I think it's essentially split up into two shops based on what you've experienced before. The like spell book type stuff is in one place, and then like components and alchemical things in another.
I will, with our what feels like boundless funds, which I know that that's not quite what we're experiencing, but it feels like that because Ulta ain't never been rich. She will stop and probably buy some potions and things, like healing potions, just a couple here and there. I'll type out the list.
Okay. Are you intending to sort of just like fast forward to it, just go buy the things and then move on? Or
Would it be
is
easier
there
for that?
It's totally up to you. I don't want to remove the like interacting with the city and people if you want to, but if you do want to just like, yes, we just want to go buy these things and keep it that simple, I'm all for it.
I would say for Ulta, unless Aster is there or Icarus or LSA or Juno, unless somebody else in the party is with me, she would probably just be very like task oriented and going to get it done and not super interested in chatting. But
Okay.
if, say, we've split up the party, I guess it's a question for my party members. If like a couple of people are out at the North Gate waiting and a couple people are doing shopping, if they want specific things, then they can do chatting.
Nothing off the top of Aster's head, but she particularly needs from a shopping trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might just be like, if she's waiting, just kind of like keeping an eye out for like any like figures that, I don't know, seem culty and look like they're heading out.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what they're
culty.
doing. Like, I don't know.
Okay. So let's have you then make a perception check.
Okay.
Eliseo, let's have you investigate for Puff.
Yay.
And then we'll say this is happening while Ulta is doing the last bit of runaround. Ulta at the bank, essentially, or the central exchange. That's what we're calling this. Too much real world talk. At the central exchange, you will be told that you have a current balance of 20,000 gold.
Can we like invest that or something? Really get some profits on that?
I've not created a full-on economic system in this world, so
Why not?
question mark. If you want to, we can figure it out.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
20,000 is nice.
Yep, and you will be told that there is actually a deliberation in progress on a final balance. Did we lose Ulta?
Hold on, it's frozen. Oh, wait.
Nope.
Ah, yes. It's back.
Nope, we're good. Oh, man. Okay, so yes, you know there is potentially more coming.
Check.
Dang.
Okay.
This wizard is so happy right now.
Okay, that list is coming. The perception checks Was that a 14 for you, Aster?
Yes.
And then what was Puff?
If you will recall, Puff cannot roll higher than a 3. So yeah.
Oh, but it does legitimately just, you can like see through its eyes, right?
Right.
So this will be a
Yes.
perception check for you.
Puff rolled a 4, which means with my eyes, it's 5.
Okay. All right, so Aster,
Puff's a disaster. Okay. Like, as much as I adore him, he's useless.
well, this is a setting that I think it actually fits pretty well. So, for both of them, it's like this is very chaotic. Aster, you're able to recognize probably more so than the spectral owl that you're still not quite used to this kind of setting yet. There's so many people, so many different kinds of people doing so many different things, going every which way. Tons of discussions happening around you and all sorts of different moods. It's just so it's so chaotic in that way. There's so much going on. They have a really hard time being able to really pinpoint if there's anything nefarious happening, if anybody's paying too much attention to you guys, anything along those lines. You are fairly confident that, like, in your immediate vicinity, you're just blending in with the crowd for the most part. But you would recognize that it's incredibly difficult to really know for sure in your, like, broader purview. Puff does not get any more than that. But you did ask a very specific question, LSAO. I'm forgetting the majority of it, but it was along the lines of how's the process happening?
Yeah,
right?
any information about when they're leaving, how much each person is assigned, like how many people to each, like, shipment.
You will hear the name.
Lysol? Purple
Not
map?
quite. You will hear the name Ardred.
Ardred.
Several people in the crowd are calling for him, and when he like flags them down, they sort of go to him, and he is among several people around one small building that seem to be like gathering and chartering people to be assigned to different carts in one caravan. You will also hear something guards, something drivers, and then they're like pointing to each of the people as they're making these comments. You definitely do not see any cultists. But I don't think a history check will be needed for this. You would at least vaguely remember that you had peeled off to come into Waterdeep, where you knew that most, if not all, of the cultists were actually going around.
Okay.
I will say for the group, just to make sure we're all on the same page, I have been holding off on going to our first break because it sounds like Corndog's going to be back soon-ish.
Possibly.
I mean, barring everything.
Right.
Yeah, no, I'm doing okay. Okay, so
Itemized list has also been sent.
Yes, thank you.
here's an itemized list of 30 years of disagreements. Sorry. You say itemized list, that's what I do. Okay. I will come and present that information to you, the rest of the party. And keep Puff in my pocket. Oh, Oh, here's something else that I would love to be put on the shopping list. Can I get like some incense and things necessary for resummoning familiar just in caseies?
Yeah, that's fair.
Now that we have money, I want to have a backup plan.
Okay, that was materials for that, you said?
Materials for resummoning Puff if I need to change Puff's form or if anything happens to Puff. Hi, kitty. He's awake. It's his birthday, everyone. Look at his kitty.
Awesome. Okay, anything else?
I'm going to check my spell
Can I
components a
specifically
second.
say Ulta wants an exotic mount?
What do we mean by that?
I
Ooh,
don't know. It was the first word I could think of.
a centaur.
I don't think they'd allow it, but we can try.
That's an interesting concept. Centaurs for hire. Huh.
Yeah,
What is a
it's our
centaur
taxi
but a
service.
magical Uber? Okay.
They could provide conversation and transport.
It's true. It's not happening,
Can't
but
charge your
it's true. Okay. Anything else? We can assume you're able to get the materials you're looking for. You already
Do
took
we
care
have
of the
enough
meat.
like gems and stuff? Like, should we get diamonds for the cleric?
I
I was
mean,
asking,
I
I
know that
was-
like we still have diamonds from like previous loot at this point. Like I think we've only used one and we have gotten several. So I think we're
Okay.
good.
Just
Okay,
want to check.
Yeah, I hope that all of you would let Ulta know if you did, for sure, before we leave. But she don't know. She's like, you guys do all that magic stuff, cool. Bye. I'm gonna eat some crickets.
I mean, crickets are also a spell component for me, so like, hey, we understand each other. Maybe.
Okay. All of this sounds reasonable. Okay.
Not a lot of my spells need components, as it turns out.
You are using a focus.
I am.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you really only need to pay attention to components that have a material cost listed on the spells themselves.
I know.
Okay, so let's do this then. Corndog is nearly ready to rejoin us, and we're at a good transition point. So we'll say that you have acquired your cart and... Wait, did you say cart and mounts or just mounts?
I just
Just
said
mounts.
mounts.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So-
didn't assume we had anything necessarily to cart with us.
Okay, that works. So we'll
Do
work
we,
on...
team? Need a cart?
No, I don't think we do.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. I'm
Okay.
glad I didn't assume incorrectly.
Yeah, if we're all doing mounts, I think a cart is less stealthy for us,
Yeah.
anyways.
Okay. So we'll take care of all of that for cost behind the scenes, and then get Corndog in here as well. So we'll take a bit of a longer break here, hopefully no more than 10 minutes or so, possibly shorter. But yeah, we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Somebody start being funny. I don't know.
Get weird.
We're hilarious. Hey, we're back. Oh man, that was yeah, Chrissy put it best. That was a ride that we just went on. Okay. we're back. Corndog's back. Juno's back. In not just telecommunicating via I don't know where I'm going with that. She's here. We are heading out of the city in quiet pursuit of a group of cult carts in a small caravan that we know is passing through that has hired through a business in Waterdeep several guards and drivers. So, Corn Dog, is there anything, at least from what you had heard and seen, is there anything that we need to reconcile before we're at the point that you are all leaving the city?
No. Aside from possibly Juno, like, reaching out to Leosin via my cleric spell. Sending? Is that the one?
Ooh,
I don't
okay.
know. Hold, please. Sending, yes. And it's gonna kind of be a conversation of like, bro, where are you at? What are you doing? Do you need assistance? Where should we go? Help? The fuck?
We can make that last part one word, DAFUQ.
Yep. I think they all fit. Just short
And
questions.
then you have
of,
one
like,
word left. So what do you do?
Just scream, fuck.
Yep. There it is. The quintessential Juno sign off for sending. Fuck. The first time you did
I
that,
feel like in this circumstance, the fuck.
the first time you
works
did
really
that,
well.
I practically pissed myself. It was hilarious. Okay. You will get a response that he is scouting. What is the name of this place? I'm gonna look this up while you guys are talking through what's happening next, just to make sure I don't give you wrong information, but I don't want to just brush it under the rug either. He is scouting way far north, ahead of your destination for sure, and he is alone for now, intentionally. Okay, I'm gonna look that up while you guys are going through. We have about 10 days of travel. You are. Oh, I should shift you to this map. Sorry. Hello, Sword Coast. We are here, and we are heading here. Oh, you guys can't see that label, can you?
Nope.
Boom. So this road splits off just a little bit northwest of Waterdeep, and then follows a narrow path over here, in between the Sword Mountains and the Sea of Swords. Both of the Sea of Swords label you can see, Sword Mountains. There you are. Okay. So this narrow road, known, well-traveled road, but you had heard in a previous session that the destination of some of the cultists is this general direction, somewhere in or near the Mirror of Dead Men. You've got about 10 days of travel. So there are a couple things we're keeping in mind. A, it's my understanding that you are attempting to the best of your efforts to do this stealthily, aka don't get noticed by the caravan that you're following. Is that a correct assumption?
Yes.
Okay. And then B, Jen is with you.
Shit, made that an extra mount.
Yes. So I pinned that message so I can, it's going to take me a little bit of time to run that all down, but it's reasonable enough to assume that you're able to get all that. Definitely well within the funds that you have available. So we don't need to take the time away from the show to figure all that out right now. I'll do that in between sessions. So you have about 10 days of travel ahead of you. We're going to get a little creative with the stealth factor, but we're also going to go through 10 days of an opportunity for you guys to start or continue any ongoing downtime projects as you go. However, this is going to be different from before, where you had carts and therefore only one or two people had to be occupied with driving at a time. You now all have individual mounts. So you have opportunities to discuss things throughout the days that you're traveling, but not to actively work on anything unless you do so during like resting time or leading up to your overnights. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to say you have up to 8 opportunities to continue on any of those projects. So is anybody doing anything in particular in that realm of things that we want to talk about? Share what we're working on with this unique aspect of our campaign here.
I'm making another spell. That's it.
Awesome.
That's all that I know. I'm making another spell.
Ulta would continue to work on training Sunrunner.
Okay.
Also, did we get the Mastiff or?
Nope, you have a pony. And yes, it's still too big for you, but it's the best that Waterdeep could do.
It's not a very level 9 thing.
God damn it.
That's not very level 9 of you, is the new. That's not very cash money of you.
What's the name of this document again? Because I can't remember what I was doing last time, and it's also not appearing in my Google Drive.
It is
Same.
pinned
Of course it is. God
in
damn
our
it.
chat. Kind of far down. From May of this year.
Woofda.
Ugh.
That means I'll probably scroll past Ulta art again, and that'll be great.
Yeah.
No.
Do you
I'll
want me
message. Sorry, go
to
ahead.
copy it? Yeah, I was just gonna say I'll
I
copy
found it. My
Okay.
computer is just being like, I don't think you're a real person. What the? Google Drive.
Hashtag not sponsor.
Okay. I think it will be very difficult for me to finesse with a Warhammer. However, eventually, outside of this, when I haven't just spent 2 months on vacation, I would love to sit down with you, Magic, and discuss changing her aura a little bit.
Her aura. Ooh.
Yeah, from her class feature. I'd like to discuss changing my aura. That would be great. My
Okay.
Twilight Sanctuary. Sorry, or no. Yes, my Twilight Sanctuary. And
Okay.
possibly what it would look like to make that better, more useful, things like that, or more dangerous. Depending on if I like you or not. But just creating more with that, if that's cool.
Okay.
I
Absolutely.
haven't thought about it much, but when we've played and I've used it, I think people have used the healing maybe 2 whole times, and that's it. And I want people to be more impacted by it.
Okay, so let's do this. Just because we don't know out of game right now what you might want to do with it eventually, if you like, we can still at least start keeping track of your in-game time spent on it, so that when we end up finalizing details, you don't have to like wait to start till then. Does that sound all right?
Sounds good to me, boss.
So let's start keeping track of that. And like I said, you have up to 8 opportunities. So if you use all 8, for every one that you use, you will get your automatic 1 skill point for working on the project. And then there's if you're trying to actually reach some kind of checkpoint or final product, you can make your rolls respectively on the skills necessary to make them happen. So we've got Juno working on an improved or enhanced Twilight Sanctuary. Since that is a cleric feature, I'm going to have you roll religion checks if you want to do any of that.
But
Unless
I'm not religious.
I know, like having the wisdom casters
Why?
roll intelligence checks is usually pretty rough.
if you would like to make an argument for why you may want to do a different check that makes sense, I am all ears.
It would be super dope if I could do insight checks, because I've had a really bad day today. Or because it would be in situations where I was attempting to commune or pray and trying to understand my deities. The Moonweaver, there we go, got that. My deities' interpretations of things, because she's always giving me visions that I've never really understood all the time. Understand it. I don't, what year is it? I'm doing my best. But just trying to be more aware of what she's tried to communicate with me. Because I don't always get it right. I have a lot of notes that say, the fuck?
Okay, fair enough. We can make it insight checks.
Thank you. Yeah, Chrissy.
Oh, that is the sassiest Chrissy look I've ever been on the butt end of. Holy.
Oh,
What else,
that's very
guys?
good.
Christ.
Yeah, something I think that Aster might want to work on. Something like, especially since the conversation with Astriel the day before, maybe same day, timelines are hard. But after that conversation, she's thought more about that experience she had, like almost feeling the ley lines and being able to see through the land and through nature. And maybe instead of just having that like soul experience, perhaps trying to interact more with it. I'm not really sure like what the roles would be or what kind of the skilled like challenge like might go towards, but like something to that element.
Interacting with what? I lost you.
So like, yeah, so like basically like being able to like see or even like just feel like through land, through nature, that kind of thing. Because she was not able to see previously that there was something happening to the north, but like through that interaction with that tree, for example, she was able to see that.
Okay. Tactically speaking, what kinds of things do you think you might use this skill for once complete?
I mean, possibly like being able to like see from a very like different distance, like almost think about like how maybe sending like a familiar out, except it would just be like you just looking through like a nearby tree or something.
Except it's effective, is what you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
But it's what you mean, and that's okay, because Puff is never effective.
Okay. I think for now, we might have to do the same thing we're doing with Juno, and say you can sort of start to tap into honing this skill, even though you don't necessarily know exactly what it might do once complete, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to keep talking on and offline about what kinds of details we're eventually thinking about landing on.
Sure.
Okay. LSA is working on a spell. I will message Icarus about anything that he would want to be working on with those up to 8 opportunities. Ulta, did I miss you or did I forget you?
No, she's working on her dragon's can. I'm just rolling them now.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So what kinds of things are you working on training at this point? We were talking about, like, teaching him to fly before.
Yeah, I would say like general commands that you would learn in puppy school. So sit,
roll around, bark,
stay,
paw.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would totally have my tiny dragon friend learn very cute tricks if they were willing.
Can they breathe fire? But like Mushu level fire?
Okay, good question. I like where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
That, if it's possible.
You have seen him breathe fire, so yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just simple, starting with basic commands. Nothing to getting familiar with, I would say probably at first, I would say probably getting used to hand gesture commands so that anyone on the team could utilize them. So that
Okay.
if I'm incapacitated in any way and someone else needed to utilize them somehow, then they could. But
Okay.
that's like a down the road thing, I think, with like
teaching them to recognize from other people and not just you. Okay.
right.
So let's do this for now. I'm thinking very basic commands like sit, roll, paw. And I'll even throw like fly in there, but generically as just like get off the ground kind of thing. Your DCs for the skill checks on that are going to be 8 with animal handling. And then in order to quote unquote complete the learning of one command is going to be 5 successes before 5 failures on the skill checks.
Check.
Keep-
Currently.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say keep track of the total tallies, but what is your total tally so far?
Right now I have 2 successes and 1 failure.
Okay.
But for this, so let me, just so I understand, because I am slow to this mechanic for some reason, my brain, especially not tonight.
It is my own thing, so it could be just me not communicating it well.
No, I think it's just me not being me. So right now I have a DC 11 animal handling. That was for learning like the dragon can't. So this is a different DC then.
I'm changing it from 11 to this.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh, okay,
11 was for when we, like with Aster and Juno, like we didn't know really exactly what you were going for yet. So now that we have a better definition, I'm able to better,
Perfect. Okay.
parameterize it.
Yeah. Oh, whose am I on? I have a. Okay, and then the skill points and skill check successes. If
Okay,
I have
so-
15 successes, that means they know a couple of commands at a minimum. Currently?
Yes.
Question mark? Okay.
3. 3 total.
Okay.
So we'll say, since that's 15 on the mark, we're going to say you're starting at 0 for whatever command is next. You can pick 3 basic, like I said, sit, roll, paw, fly, and then was there 1 or 2 others? But pick 3, and then now your failures are wiped, your successes are used for those 3, and then it'll stay at the 5 before 5 for any other basic. It's going to be 10 before 5 for what we call intermediate, and then 20 before 5 for more advanced stuff when we identify those things.
Check. You're definitely going to have to remind me of that, but yes.
Okay.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
In my head right now, it sounds absolutely exactly how I wanted it to go, but I will inevitably forget.
Okay. Yeah, so the permanent things you'll want to keep track of are which skills have now been successfully learned. So that's going to be 3 of your basic commands with him. And then your running total of skill points, because when you hit those thresholds that I laid out in that document, it's going to make the DCs easier, and then more basic things more automatic for learning.
Check. Are my skill points
So
staying despite
yes.
the... Okay.
So the skill points always stay. It's 1 skill point per hour or attempt at spending the time, and then another skill point per successful skill check. But then you're also separately tracking the successes versus failures. All right.
This would be so much easier to do if Ulta was on the back of a Mastiff, you know what I mean?
Or if Ulta was level 9.
Getting so stuck on this stuff is not very level 9 of you guys.
Oh, wow.
Got
Oh my
him. Bing
God.
bong.
Maybe because we aren't level 9. If we were, we wouldn't be talking about it.
That is.
We wouldn't be
that
acting
is
this way.
the comeback for that. I applaud you.
Have you guys told everyone at home that we just leveled up to 8?
No,
No, they don't need to know.
I didn't just level up to level 8 tonight. What are you talking about?
You got level
Oh,
8
okay.
literally days ago in game. It's okay. You'll be fine.
Okay.
You can
All right,
have
whoever's
level
next
9
to
at
go.
home. Level 9 at home. Level 8.
All right, so we're traveling. If there's any further questions about all that, the project stuff, let's probably just shift that to our chat on the side so we can keep her moving. And the other element is going to be collective stealth checks for each of the 10 nights that you are traveling to make sure that you can remain hidden from the caravan ahead of you. So
We have to
instead
do
of having
10 stealth
everybody
checks in a
roll
row.
10 times, let's just have everybody roll once at advantage. Because I'm confident that this, I mean, there's a
Nat
chance.
20!
Oh, that was at advantage. Hold, please, for the one at advantage.
Oh, great.
24, please.
Okay, you are the knight.
I am.
Mine was a 10 because she's not on an appropriate amount.
Your mount is
Ulta's
just like barking.
bouncing around. Can't even like get her legs wrapped around, so she's got to sit like a child on the floor, just like legs out in front,
Yes.
bopping around on this pony.
Like,
That would be so
actually Bilbo.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can we pay for
She's just
Ulta to get
sore.
chiropractic work when we get to the next town?
Every time she stops, she's like, can somebody make me an ice pack magically?
Yes. Yes.
Alyssa will
Can I have a
always
bag
do
of
that for
frozen
you.
peas?
Yes.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
have prestidigitation. It is exactly for this.
Jeez. Wait, no. Wait, yeah, that works. For ice pack?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd allow that.
I can chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living
Yeah.
material for an hour.
I thought you meant for like a chiropractic treatment, and I was like, whoa.
Nope.
Yeah. It can work. If it can dust your clothes off, it can crack your spine.
I mean, I do have a strength of 15, so I can probably do a decent amount of
You
chiropractic
could probably do
work.
that yourself then, yeah. Okay, so you are plenty stealthy as you go. We've taken care of projects along the way. So now, collectively during your 10 days of travel, is there anything in particular that you guys would like to discuss and or do other than your projects?
Particularly, I think Aster would just like kind of keep an eye on we're approaching people that have like kind of hold like an emotional stake over quite a few members in our party. Just kind of keeping an eye on them, checking in, like, hey, like anything I can help with? Are you guys doing okay?
Ulta would ask for help with her mount.
Wherever I can with that. Honestly, like on some of the days, if we're not really doing that much, like she might just like wild shape into something smaller and have like other members of the party just like handle the mounts for a little while.
I think. Oh, who else? Okay, I will go. Thank you, Chrissy. I think Juno would definitely spend some time sending messages just back and forth and trying to also like let people know that if they need her to communicate a message onto someone else, that she can do that. Just trying to be that source of contact between them and what is yet to come and what has just happened.
Okay, so what people would you be trying to reach out to initiate that?
Leo's in a bit, and then my mom, just letting her know what we've experienced since being in Waterdeep, and also that I miss home. And she would be like, that sucks. Figure out what happened to your dad. And I'd be like, okay, on it. But for the most part, I also want to keep an eye out for any type of orcish tracks. See if there's any like herd of orcs, like the one that's not herd, gathering of orcs, like the one that came into our elf stronghold and killed my dad. So trying to help LSAO as much as I can with their dragon search thing, while also trying to keep my true quest out here in the back of my mind.
Okay. So messaging to Laosin would be met with short responses, generally adding up to not much news yet, but he's still scouting in the far north mountains. It seems that he's found some secluded tracks that are bipedal but clawed. That hasn't really led to anybody in particular yet, at least that he's seen. Again, very secluded stuff, but he is intending to find, if he can, anybody who is like a secluded informant or operator for the cult.
Rad.
Eliseo, what did I miss something for you? No? Okay, my mistake. I just wanted to make sure.
Alta was about to say
good.
something before I interrupted.
Alta, what's up?
I don't remember.
Shit.
It's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know
fine.
what they say, bing bong. That's
it
it's
is.
never gonna get old.
Okay, stream, as the person that's watching tonight, if magic has said bing bong on stream more than we have asked to level up, I think we get a level up.
Someone in the comments.
You know what?
Help us
I'm
out.
for that because I've only said it 4 times, and you guys have said fucking level 9 at least a couple dozen.
I know,
Maybe
but now we
1.5.
can cease, and you can keep going bing bong all night. I'll even whisper it a couple times to make you respond. Call it response.
Subliminal message.
It'll be like church.
Okay, but I'd like to discuss the rules on this because I feel like there's a difference between saying the word 9 and
Oh my god, it's not gonna happen.
Request.
It's not gonna. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's request. It's request based because we definitely yell 9, just in general. So
all the time.
All right.
we're very German in this party. Very German. In case no one knew.
All right. Anything else that we're working on or discussing aside from your personal projects? Oh, nature check for you, Juno. Tracking orcs or attempting to. Survival check, not nature.
Can I
Survivor.
help with that?
Survival. Yes, Aster may absolutely help.
Okay.
I'll take survival. I don't trust D&D Beyond. I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna hate myself.
You have advantage at
Here we
least.
go. Oof.
All again.
We have
Oh,
we
yeah.
have the window up so
dang.
so chat can see it
Marginally
as it
better.
happens.
Look, I would like to use both of my +2s in this instance to make that a 15.
You may absolutely do that.
Thank you, chat, for helping my day be less bad.
Okay. You would not see any. You're familiar with orc tracks versus other humanoid beings. You definitely do not see any until you are within eyeshot of a small shack in the distance on your final day of travel, where you're seeing the caravan ahead of you actually stop. And then at that point, you'd see like an occasional set of tracks going in different directions as if patrolling.
I think, like, I would let the group know that I've seen them, and that, like, just to proceed with caution for this next bit, especially.
Okay. So if we're going to this point without anything else, then there's a little bit more information I need to give you as a group. About a day's travel before this point. Let me double check the map just to make sure that's correct. Yeah, about a day's travel before this point would be the first that you had noticed that the land to your west sort of splits off. We're talking about right about here. The land to your west has become a little wider, while the road itself still hugs the base of the mountains. And then a little farther up, I'll actually use the arrow so it's a little easier to see. Right about here, you're able to see this change in the scenery directly off of the coast itself and onto... Here, chat. Here's a little help. Directly off the coast and coming onto the land is this sort of marshy look. The foliage, the trees look pretty similar to what was on land itself, but it's as if this is like a small forest that is actually mostly underwater. That's like the best way I can describe it.
Does it feel anything like the forest that we were in, where all the bad dead was happening?
Ooh, make a perception check.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to be in on that, you can all make that check if you'd like.
Yes.
Well, nope. Rolling real dice is bad too. That's a natural one.
Oof.
Woofda. This day, I tell you what.
Okay. Fitting, because Aster, you're very familiar with the feeling itself. There's a small hint of that. It comes across to you almost like a smell. At first, but then like the longer you've been traveling, so the full day of travel after the first point that you had seen this sort of change in the land itself, it sinks in more to like a feeling, almost like what magic around you feels like. It's definitely similar to the icky that you had seen and felt before.
We're definitely in the right place.
Zip. We're here now.
So, do you think we should, as we're traveling, maybe travel ahead a smidge and then just backtrack, since they're not necessarily moving? This looks like a hideout. Or do we stop right here and go in crossbows ablazing?
I mean, that depends. Do we want to see what their end destination is, like by following them, or do we want to directly confront them and ask what it is?
I feel like these are the small fry, and they're not going to have tons of information. So I think the best info they could give us is showing us where they go. You know? These are ultimately not the people we're actually after.
Jamna is going to chime in and say, well, we know these are just hired goons, but this is the cargo.
It does not look like they're at their end destination, though.
Unless
Perhaps
there's
a
something
night of
strange with
observing.
that shack. Ooh.
Perhaps a night of observing would tell.
We could do that. If we find somewhere that we could hide the dome, it could also provide shelter and at least some warm space for us.
I like that idea.
I would say travel ahead, leave the mounts hidden, backtrack a bit.
Sure.
Okay. I hope
Alright,
there's
we'll
a
watch.
snack connected. Okay.
Food.
Yep.
Very good.
Food is good. All right.
So yeah, I think we're gonna just travel not far ahead. I would say, maybe a mile up the road, just so far enough out of their earshot and understanding, and then head off the road a bit.
Okay.
Hide the horses to the best of our ability.
Okay, so we'll use the same stealth since it was so fantastic. Reasonably, you're able to do that. And this is a lot of theater of the mind stuff. Actually, let me see if we do have a handout for this while I'm talking. But so you do see that the small group of did I give you a number of carts? I forget. Okay, it is 6 carts in total. With about 4 people that you would have counted for each between driving and what you'd heard as guarding. All of them sort of park in a line leading up to this place. And then at the point that you would be sort of coming off of the road with your mounts and trying to hide the horses, you are able to find several trees at the very edge of this place. This has been marked on the map for you by your information. So this is the Mere of Dead Men. You are at the southeastern edge of it, and the shack itself is just off the road on the mountain side. And it doesn't take far, maybe 100 yards or so, to get from the western edge of the road to the eastern edge of the Mere. So that's about the kind of distance that you're working with. If you want to go farther into the Mere, let me know. But that's your sort of general layout. So what are we thinking?
I think we were going to hunker down and keep eyes on the shack for the night and the carts.
Yeah, and just hey, because I've been to Lord of the Rings. Why is it called the Mere of Dead Men?
Make a history check.
Okay. 8.
You don't know.
Somebody probably died. Maybe more than one person.
I didn't
I have
think about that
potentially-
until now.
Yeah, could I potentially learn about this in my studies of men?
Sure.
Yuck.
Ew.
Oh man,
Oh,
that was a
God.
face.
You're really getting served some faces tonight.
I am.
All right, so history. I'm super brainy. History +0. Excellent. 13.
Okay.
That's a +5. How'd you do so much better than me?
I am a genius.
You are, my love.
Okay, so this particular place might ring some bells as far as like hearing bedtime stories growing up and not so much documented history for you. However, in your particular line of people and the traditions that they have as far as storytelling, every story that you've ever heard has had some amount of truth imbued in it. So a story about a marsh, a haunted marsh, would come to mind when you're thinking about this. And while the land itself may be the literal sense of why is it marshy, this particular section of land is just eroded and lower to the water than everything around it. But there are scary stories, boogeyman kind of stories about haunted creatures that used to live within this particular section of forest and now linger within it even after death. Wars that have happened in this general area in and around these mountains where maybe platoons of men and elf alike have tried to reside and hide in this place, but were met with their end at the hands of these haunted creatures.
I'm gonna warn the party about that, and will-o'-the-wisps and things of that, things like those little beings of kind of like this bedtime story things. Just warn them about things that go bump in the night, essentially.
I never follow a light into a swamp. This is not a good idea.
No. Also swamp. Ew. Why?
That's fair.
Says the person who just came from the fucking swamp.
I was on a beautiful beach, thank you.
Oh, true. I'm at the airport.
I was not
guess.
in southern Louisiana, thank you very much.
Awesome.
Listen, I'll take the food in a swamp any
That's
day.
fair.
True.
Give me a good old-fashioned Louisiana po' boy.
Mm.
I'm here for it.
All right. So anything else?
Also, just so you know, my cat named Marsh loved that description where you said Marsh like so many times.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we've got a little bit of story-based potential history on this area, and a vague description of the sort of dimensions you're working with as far as distance from things that you're looking at. So I think we're at the point that you're going for hiding the horses away. So talk me through what's happening next at the point that you see the 6 carts ahead of you are parked sort of in a line at this shack, and you are about 100 yards away hiding your horses.
I think we're probably going to get about as close in vision as we can get and put up the dome. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's like a bunch of trees or something like that nearby, Juno would wait until it's actually dusk to put up the dome.
Okay.
Because it'll blend in at that time. Like people won't just see it just out of nowhere. And then spend the night attempting to keep it dark.
So the dome, remind me, all of you are able to fit into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then
some.
B, are you able to see through it, but nobody can see you?
No,
Or
you
does
can't see
it?
through it.
It's opaque from the inside, but invisible from the outside.
I was pretty sure we could see through it, but they can't see it.
Let's look at the spell, everybody.
Yep.
Neiman's tiny hut.
Tiny hut.
Where is my tiny hut? Where is it? There it is, 3rd level.
But it is transparent from the inside.
Oh. Cool.
Got you.
dope. Yes. Magical effects can't extend through the dome and cannot be cast through it.
Okay.
So, like, we can't cast spells from inside of there either. The atmosphere in the dome is comfortable and dry, regardless of the weather outside, which is really nice when we're right next to a swamp. You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay. So continuing with the awesome stealth that you guys have utilized, you've made this hut at dusk of this 10th evening. Everybody make a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
7. Why do I even try?
13.
21. Sorry, heck, what'd you say?
Oh, 13.
23.
13, 21,
sorry.
23, 7. And Jamna. Okay. So, at one point, who had the 21? Ulta. You and Jamna, sort of at the same time as you're all peering out, checking out your surroundings, are going to sort of like turn your head at the same time in a direction you see a pair of figures moving. The lighting around the roadhouse at this point is reserved to a couple of torches, basically. There's a lot more going on inside, so you can see lights coming through windows. However, the outside is only lit by a couple of torches. So you do see a pair of figures walking out and sort of going back on the road from where you came. If well before they get out of eyesight, you can see them sort of stop, and then after some time passes, you can tell they haven't actually stopped, they just turned and are walking more toward you. But then before they even get to a point that you'd think they might notice, at least your horses, they turn again and sort of walk across your purview and farther up the road, but clearly way off of it. This is a patrol. The light is not good enough, and neither of you have dark vision, right? Or do you?
I do.
Okay.
I also have mega dark vision and had a 23.
We
on my
all
roll.
have.
Oh, you had a 23. Okay, I'm sorry. I totally missed that.
My dark vision is so good that the light hurts me.
Are you at the?
Those at disadvantage during the daytime?
Are you at the 300 feet, or is that just Juno?
Hang on. I don't know. I can't find it. Let me work on finding it and I'll tell you. But
Okay.
probably not.
If you're not at the enhanced dark vision, then Juno, you are the only one who's actually able to make out, spoiler alert, because they're still far enough away. It's a pair of orcs.
Oh yeah, I'm about to tell everybody in a very, very hushed voice, so as not to stir the orcs walking around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to take my big ass ears, and turn them like a satellite dish, and attempt to hear what they're saying with my big floppy ears, because I can speak Orcish.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm
Investigation
the only one that
check.
can't leave the dough, so everyone else could if they needed to.
They're pretty far away, so this is gonna need to be a damn good one.
It's a 10.
Yeah, you are
I
not.
did so good.
You don't even hear if they're talking at all.
Cool. I just keep my ears flexed towards them, and I like kind of point out to everybody in really cool code that Jamna totally taught us with hand signals how to communicate silently.
If I cast comprehend languages on myself and then send my owl over there, could the owl hear Orcish and then I understand it through the owl?
Do you have to concentrate on both of those things?
No, my familiar just hangs out and is a dude
Okay.
and a bro.
Oh, I was like, why are we specifying? Oh,
Because
Wrong tangent.
he's cool. Because the
Okay.
owl is cool.
right. Okay, so yes, you were able to do that.
I do that.
So the only time that any of them would speak, you would know this for sure to be the only time, is when one of them says, "This one was more supplies for the road. Looks like more work tomorrow." And then the other just kind of grunts in response.
Cool. I cast message to Juno and psychically tell her this so that she could pretend that she heard it and she can tell the rest of us. So that she feels like her ears are being useful.
Ah, yes. Hmm.
I'm being supportive here.
Support class. Juno will relay the message to
Support
everyone
class.
in the hut. Sorry if you can hear me eating. I guess I'd just wait for them to get closer. But I don't
At
know
this
that I would
point-
do anything about the patrol going by, unless any of you guys wanted to.
Oh, is that two different things? Who are you waiting to get closer?
Oh, the patrol. Like, if they were to come towards us, like, it's not like I'm gonna jump out of the dome and be like, "Ha, motherfucker!" Like, that is not my intention in this moment.
Okay,
It's more-
yeah. So by the point that you were trying to listen to them, and by the point you were trying to listen to them, they were kind of maintaining distance but walking across your horizon of view, a couple hundred
Okay.
feet away. And then by the time Puff came out to try and listen, they were starting to walk past the closest point to you before they turned again toward the shack.
Volta is going to whisper, maybe this is when we send our assassin friend to do some closer recon.
She'll give you a smirk in response.
I
He
thought you meant
does
Icarus.
Really well.
Remember when
Icarus.
Icarus thought he was an assassin?
Certainly
I mean,
rolled
he
like
did
one.
murder people.
I was
in
just
the
gonna
assassin,
say, to
like,
be fair, it worked. So.
Yeah.
Although, would you want me to maybe wild shape into something? And also kind of insist, I don't think they're going to care if there's an owl or something nearby.
Level 8.
Yeah, I can fly now.
Yeah, bitches.
I mean, if you think that they won't attack it, my concern with not doing it completely under the guise of sneaking is if they're like, oh, that fucking annoying bird.
What if you
I
were
mean-
a snake instead? The snakes come out.
I mean, owls are pretty quiet. I could just sneak as an owl.
I mean, technically Puff did.
Puff is a very convincing owl.
We could certainly
Lots
do
of owls
both.
out here. Yeah.
Jenna coming in with a solution.
It would be good to have backup.
Also, good idea. Super glad we brought you.
All right. Well, cool. I'll become an owl, I guess, and accompany Shamna.
All right. So at that point, our break schedule has been a little wonky tonight, so I think this would be our probably best opportunity to take one more very short one. So quick restroom refill, all that jazz, and we will be right back.
Like, you're not supposed to answer. That way he has to say it.
In subliminal messaging, and I know we've already crossed over. You ain't slick.
Ah!
Oh yeah, I watched it.
I'm slick
It's just
enough.
Like, oh, there it goes.
All right.
Slick enough. Mm.
Yeah, oh, she disagrees. I know that sound. Hi, folks. We're back. I'm counting that. If you think level 8 is good, just wait until level 9. I know you know what's up, Mr. Rogers. I know you know what's up. I'm counting that. Okay, so Aster, you and Jamna are now spying ahead to this secluded shack on the side of the road that you've been traveling to the very edge of the Mare of Dead Men. Actually, I should correct that. That was the point you started noticing it. This is about a day's travel after the start of that point. So you're like well into that area at this point. I'll note one more time, a couple of torches lighting the outside and light emanating from the inside. And by this point, as you're getting closer, Aster, you would be able to see, you're flying, right? You're an owl.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be able to see that most of the carts, we'll say 5 out of the 6, have now shifted from one side of the shack to the other and are no longer covered. Okay, so there is one remaining, and you can see a few humanoid figures sort of going back and forth between that final remaining cart and the shack itself. Jamna, you would see, is extremely meticulous about the places she is stepping, you would be able to see easily enough that, as you're swooping around, making your passes and sort of keeping in line with her progress, she's actually intentionally stepping in the imprints of footprints that are already there. Because this whole area is, while it's not inside the mare itself, it's still pretty marshy and kind of muddy grass. So you can definitely clearly see those tracks as they go, and she's intending to not make new ones as she goes. So, at one point when you're about 150 or so feet away from this shack, she's going to stop and look up and sort of confirm that she still sees you there and just give you a nod and kind of give you this signal.
All right. I'm just gonna keep following by.
Following what?
Jamna.
Okay. So she'll continue a little bit quicker at this point, having seen, and you would also see that the orcs that were ahead of you have now completed their circuit and have gone back into the shack. Thank you for that raid, by the way, Master of Rem. Welcome, everybody. So you're sneaking up on the shack with Jamna ahead of you, and she's going to basically get to a point that is a good distance away from the edge of the torchlight. So she's taking a sort of wider berth. This is the first point that she's actually deviating from the tracks that are already there, and go into a point that you can see she eventually goes kind of around the back, and you'd lose her for a second. A few seconds, but then after a few seconds, you would see this head pop up over the top of the roof in the very dim light. She's going to look around a few times and then sort of carefully, quietly crawl into a nook that's on the side of one of the windows. And as you're flying around, you are going to see... Actually... Heck it. None of you are actually seeing this except Aster, okay?
Chat
What
is
do we
saying
got
they
going
can't
on
see
here?
anything. So, if you intended on chat seeing it as well, they did not.
Can't see anything? He's kidding.
Would Puff be able to see it? So would I be able to see it?
Did Puff go with Aster? I thought Puff had come back by this point. What is Puff's range?
Puff can go wherever I can see through 100 feet away from me.
This is much farther than 100 feet.
Then
This is,
never mind.
Yeah, this is about 300 to 500 feet at this point.
But it could be a good idea to have Puff watch the two of them and relay back to us if something goes
Deal.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah, what's exactly going on here? Who are these fellas?
Okay. I'm gonna have you make a perception check as you're flying over this and trying to hear or see anything for yourself that might happen.
All right. Let's make sure I'm looking at the owl stat block real fast. Yes. Owls have keen hearing and sight, so I have advantage on this. $22.
Nice. Okay, and I am in the process of looking at something real quick to combine with that 22. Okay. You're going to hear an exchange between a few different people. First, you will hear that man in the image address those creatures, and basically with a frustrated tone, you'll hear something to the effect of, no, 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 no. Those go in the main room. These go in the vault. And then those other creatures will basically just hiss in response with this, no. You do not understand the language. And then one more voice will boom out from inside the shack in another language you do not understand. Oh, Chano no ta. You will see Jamna sort of like leaning over, checking out this exchange as it happens. She can clearly hear it too. And then is gonna like look up and eventually find you and just sort of
just do like the head turn thing.
She is going to sort of lean in and keep watching and listening for at least a few more seconds. Is there anything else that you want to do?
Not particularly, I don't think. I'm just gonna wait until like Jamna has seen as much as she wants to see and begins to leave, so then I just follow after.
Okay. After about a minute, and maybe one or two more bursts of like a similar exchange between at least 3 different voices in 3 different languages, only one of which you can understand, you'll see Jamna slip away sort of on the other side of the roof, the same way that you saw her pop up, and eventually you'll see her basically jogging, but light-footed, the same path that she took on the way in. Aster, you were an owl, right?
Yes.
And what was your perception again?
My roll?
Yeah.
22.
Little bit of extra information. There was a rank smell emanating from the not human creatures. And it very much smells like the mirror behind you.
Huh. Like, I don't have any recollection or any idea, like, what these creatures are.
You would probably recognize them as lizard folk. Yeah.
Okay.
That wouldn't be too hard to figure out.
Cool.
I said that very ambiguously, as if, like, there might still be a choice. Yes, you'd recognize them as lizard folk.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep following her back, making sure she gets back safe.
Okay.
We care about our emotional support assassin quite a bit.
Okay. You will get there just a little bit ahead of Jamna, but she will eventually come back. And then for the rest of you, both of your friends have returned.
Ooh. Hoot hoot, motherfucker.
Hoot hoot, motherfuckers.
That feels right.
Did you understand any of that?
Only what the man was saying? Something about, like, some things going to the storehouse and then some other things going to a vault.
They had the same things we saw on the carts. They're rebuilding a road. This road.
Could you see any of them?
I
Oh,
only
a
saw
couple.
I only saw the leader of the Cots from the city. That was the man. When at least 3 of those lizard guys. I didn't see any more orcs, but at least the 2 that came out here, yeah?
And then whoever was talking from the inside, I didn't understand what they said, though. Could potentially be an orc, I don't know.
Hey DM, real quick question.
Sure.
Because I was not here earlier and I did not have my spells. Could I have searched the city for either a jeweled horn or a glass eye that are worth 100 gold pieces each? Preferably, I'd be searching for the jeweled horn.
Probably. Let me take a look at them real quick. You said jeweled horn and what else?
A glass eye for seeing. Or a glass eye, and then I will see through it.
Ah, okay. Okay. They are pretty specific.
Preferably the jeweled horn. Like the glass eye for
Really?
seeing would be nice, but
You guys have the money. Yeah, I'm gonna say you were able to find one of each. After a lot of searching,
dope.
and for 200 gold each.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. I have so much gold in my pocket.
Right.
Cool. I am going, while they're gone, is there a way for me to cast, because it takes 10 minutes to cast, clairvoyance? I can plop that in chat, maybe.
I've got it.
And I'd like to put it, so you said we could like see light pouring out. I'd like to put it in like one of those locations, like if it's light pouring out from under the door, right by where that light is under the door. So that way it's like closest to being inside the space without being inside of it. I don't want to put it on the other side of the door from where we are, just in case any of them have true sight. Stress.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would be using the jeweled horn for hearing. And for you to know, the languages I speak are Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Orc. So if they're speaking those languages, I might be able to hear some stuff.
Okay, I'm throwing you a bone because you had a rough day.
Thanks, man.
This is pretty heavy to retcon.
Chrissy is like, I've had bad days. To be fair, I wasn't here and I didn't have my spell
Also,
list.
for the record,
is
I
true.
said I'm getting spell components.
This is a spell
So
component.
this is a spell
did also
component.
Yes, but
this
this
does
is
fall
pretty
under
damn
the category
specific, and
of-
after I've already described everything that's happened. So
You said I could get spell
it
components. Would I
remains a
not get it
stretch.
for my wife?
you would.
I also
You
didn't
would.
have this spell until the level up.
Okay, so.
Or I did,
one
but I
thing-
hadn't selected it ever.
So the I'll have to double check my understanding of this, but I believe because the material component listed is listed with a value and not just as a component, this will become consumed by casting the spell.
This one's not consumed.
This one is not. Why?
Yep, because it specifies when it's consumed. Like Revivify
Ah.
consumes the gem,
Yes. Okay.
which is why I'm not reviving anybody.
That is the detail that
Got
I
the
missed.
gem, but I'm not giving it up.
Okay. So you would have heard all of what I described. What were the languages again? Common, Orcish, Elvish,
And Draconic.
Draconic. Okay.
I just want to know if there's an orc boy in there or a girl.
It was definitely an orc boy.
I'm gonna start dropping some eaves like Samwise Gamgee.
Why did... Oh, there it is. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, you heard the lizard folk in that exchange outside say, "We'll have to carry from the storage room again tonight." And they were like clearly very annoyed about it. And then what the orc said was, "Hurry up, we have a new schedule for the road," in Orcish.
Sick. I'll relay that to Ulta and Eliseo and Icarus while we are all sitting together, and just keep focusing on clairvoyance while we wait for our friends to come back. Just sit there with it. You don't have to like come up with stuff on the spot of like what they're saying right now. Just trying to listen in, and also like listen around to see if like it sounds like they're moving around the shack more than they should be able to, like from what we can see on the outside, like if these voices disappear, knowing something like that.
Okay.
Maybe like perception or something like that to see if I can pick up on like depth of voices within the space, or insight if you just want me to go full bore.
Okay. No, that's fine. So it's pretty clear what clairvoyance can do. So you will hear, since you put this in a specific place, there are going to be times where you hear short bursts of conversation happening that sounds a little muffled, as if it's on a different level, you know, a lot of stuff blocking from where it's actually coming from to the point that you've placed the focus. But then you'll also hear other broken pieces of phrases like, "Take it to the old castle," and "Take it down, take it outside." That would be in the Draconic language, the lizard folk speaking.
Okay. Does this shack look like the kind of ice house you would see on a lake for a person who's just spending the day out there? Or does this look like some bougie white people shit where they put a literal house on the lake and then let it melt into the lake because discretionary income? I'm like trying to gauge, is this like a multi-story shack? Or is it
it does
an
have
ice house?
It does have two levels.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you are able to see that the lower level is a sort of like, even from the outside, you can see that it's a sort of like combination stable / storage. And then the upper level, which is where your focus is, most able to see is a series of very small bedrooms and more storage.
Well, I suppose we wait for the others to come back, but maybe when these wagons aren't out front and some of the folks that are inside have left, we consider looking into the shack a little bit more.
So now we're in the present, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot more sense that they're talking about the bolt and now the road. But the old castle, that sounds like that means something pretty important.
Gemma, have you heard of anything old castle related in this region?
Now that I have to say, this is probably the among the least civilized of situations I've found myself in.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you all weren't that close or were able to smell them. I can't stress enough how bad bird sense of smell is, but I could still smell them. It was really bad. So do we wait till they're gone?
That's what I was just gonna say.
Okay.
I think that would be our safest bet. I don't know if that's our best bet, though, because then we would once again be playing catch up with the people who are moving on.
They're escorting like 6 carts and we're just us. I feel like we could catch up. Right?
And that
That's the
also
hope, but we're
This
also
also brings into question, yeah, it's like how are they planning to get through that? They can't be trying to go through that with carts, right?
If they stay
they going
close
to
to the
go around?
mountain, there could still
Yeah.
be a mountain road, but
I think they are also fixing this road, which was a lot of the supplies we were watching people take. So
yeah,
That takes
we were
time
taking
to
things
do.
to build a city.
Yeah. It's a lot of building in general.
I suppose there are 2 options. We could try to navigate finding this castle of sorts, which we would have to step back onto a main road or leave behind the mounts to figure out. I don't know that it would be smart to take them out to do that. Or we wait for them to leave this space until there's little bodies here, and then attempt to see what's inside and what's happening here and go from there. Those are the 2 routes, from what I understand.
Yeah, I agree.
Which feels more pertinent?
I feel like I'm a little bit more worried about the things that can move away. I mean, hopefully these supplies or whatever's in the shack will stay there and we can go back at any point. But it might be harder to find anybody that moves away from this point.
I just worry that the shack is more than a shack. And Juno will like gaze out towards the swamp side of things where they're like closer to. I'm also concerned that this castle exists somewhere in this swamp merely because we spoke of how so many people have died here. People usually die for silly things like castles and kings.
Well, when the sun rises, I can possibly get another bird's eye view of everything.
That's true.
Well, that was the first time I've ever flown before.
How was it?
It was so freeing.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's so nice. At least like I've flown like on my own before, I guess. It's as good as I imagined it would be.
All of us can fly.
All of us can fly.
Wait, can
Sorry,
Icarus
Icarus.
fly?
No, he
I was
can't.
like, not all of us can. There's one
But
that cannot.
all of us here can fly.
I can fly for like a minute.
Yeah, same.
Icarus silently pouts.
It's okay, buddy. We'll get you some wings someday. He can cast fly on himself. He's fine.
I do think it would be worthwhile to looking into magical items that could help us with these things. Maybe they would exist in this shack. Perhaps not. Sorry, I'm still leaning towards the shack because I feel like from the outside we're not seeing everything that's within. And that worries me because if there's a way in and out that we're not watching, where could that lead to?
Mm-hmm. So is that what we want to do first? Check the shack?
Juno just gives a nod, but doesn't want to push it on anyone.
Everybody make a perception check, please.
Oh boy.
Everyone's so much better at perceiving than me.
25.
11. I rolled a natural 3.
21.
13.
Sometimes bonuses don't help.
Yeah, I mean, I rolled a 12. You rolled a 3 and I rolled a 12.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's
You're not doing too bad.
Okay, so I see a 21, 11. I heard a 13,
25.
25,
12.
12. Okay. Ulta, you and Jamna are going to have a similar reaction to before, where you kind of jolt your heads at the same time, but this time, Juno, you hear it as well. Off in the distance, farther into the mare, you are able to see a very, very dim light, probably about 200 feet or so away from you, start to emanate from around the tree line. And then ever so faintly you hear a familiar hissing and kind of language to what you had heard, Juno, from within the shack. Can't understand what they're saying from such a distance, but you can definitely make out the sounds.
So does it sound draconic then?
Yes. Also, I do want to go to this comment. What happened to the good table? Did I miss a good table from
It was like
today?
It was right
Very
at the
start
beginning.
of the show, before
Yeah.
we even started. It was handed out.
Oh, baby. I am very sorry, Mr. Rogers. I legitimately missed that. Okay. I've got it here. We will use it. Thank you for saying something. I completely missed that. It's in the brain vault now.
vault.
Jamna's gonna pipe in. You see that? Did you hear him? And she's
Can't make out
like
the words yet.
super fixated on where that dim light is coming out of.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make the orb dark.
The orb.
So
What orb?
My hut. Is it invisible
dome.
from the outside?
It is invisible from the outside.
Oh,
Yeah.
never mind. I'm not doing anything. From the inside is nice and dusky. I feel like this is not one of those moments where I have 10 minutes to recast. So I'm looking at my spells. So I guess we just kind of wait for them to approach, and I'll just let people know that folks are coming up and to stay as silent and quiet as possible.
Jamna's gonna like slowly and quietly pull out a crossbow and load it up. Have it like ready to go. It's pointed at the ground for now, but she's readied it up.
I'm gonna cast Gift of Alacrity on Juno while we're waiting.
I'm
Also gonna cast Pass Without a Trace. I feel like it's a good move here.
Yeah, that feels real right.
LSAO, make a perception check, please.
Okay. You know I love doing these. I rolled a 1.
Oof. All right.
Stop asking you to make perception checks.
I mean, at that point, it's not even about the check. It's just the ones.
wanna.
Oof.
I don't wanna.
You know what? I'll give you a good table. This is the good table.
What?
You have not really been able to see much to this point, but now you do, and you're getting ready to cast this spell to help Juno out in the instance where you're anticipating conflict. However, before you can finish casting the spell, you and everybody else who rolled better than a 20 will see over a shorter amount of time than anyone else that the light is it fully emanates from the ground somewhere off in the distance and fades away. They're walking away from you, so LSAO, unless you still want to cast it for some reason, you know that conflict is not coming toward you right now. AKA, you can save the spell slot.
It's a first level, and it's good for 8 hours. So I feel like
Okay.
I would let it go and be cast.
Okay. Just wanted to give the
Yes, thank you.
opportunity.
Thank you for that.
Okay, so you know that whoever this was is walking away from you at this point. What's the play now?
Did we decide to stay for the hut? Shack?
I think so.
Yes, LSAO did. I think it was LSAO, or maybe it was Aster, did mention that it would be easier for us to catch up
Yeah, because
because
we
we're
have.
not heavily burdened,
Right.
like the carts.
So I think the game plan is, for clarification, GM, that we will be staying in the tiny dome until it looks as though the carts are going to their next destination, or until people start to vacate the premises.
Okay.
This is true.
After a more significant amount of time, it would probably become increasingly clear that the hired folks are spending the night. And eventually, at least a couple of you would be able to see that the unloading has completed, and there stand 6 empty carts at the other side of this shack, and the horses sort of in this enclosure off to the side, or at least some of them. So you will have to decide how you want to handle the at least partial overnight ahead of you.
Quick question, Gemma. How quietly could you move to relinquish some horses of their burden?
I know that Icarus has invisibility, which would help Jamna.
You tempt me with a good time.
It's a
I'd feel
thought.
pretty confident about that.
They would definitely be trapped here with us, but maybe what we do instead is we just loosen the reins a little bit, so when they're partway down the road, things get a little... oh, I don't know. Broken. Or like loosen some wheels on the wagons.
She's
Give
gonna
them a
give
flat
you.
tire.
She's.
I'm just
She's-
imagining like pulling like a Robin Hood and like loosening
Yup.
like the wheel caps. And they
Yes.
they
Do it.
fall off.
That's exactly what I'm going for. It's
Okay.
Juno
Just
is like thinking
some
of this
light
as a prank.
sabotage. Yeah.
Yes. It's a prank, but also a prank that could prove beneficial to us.
Without saying anything, she's gonna give you this just massive shit-eating grin.
Yes.
And before anybody can respond in any way, she's just gonna like flip the flap of the hut and rush out. She's clearly intending to do some sabotage.
Yes. A saboteur in our ranks.
All
I
right.
love her.
She's going to be gone for about 10 minutes. What's happening for you guys during this 10 minutes?
I think the elves will rock, paper, scissors, and Juno will win. Who stays up first? Because it makes sense for Juno to be awake during the darkest part of the night. To do like the elf swappies, and if anyone wants to stay up with either of us, we'd be more than happy for them to join us. Because we only need 4 hours of sleep. But 8 hours of sitting.
Also would plan on taking a long rest.
Same.
Okay. So Jamna's going to return after about 10 minutes. And as you guys sort out your watches for the evening, she will, for the first time upon returning, seem to relax. She is joining for the intended rest of the evening and simply say, well, they're going to have a rough ride home tomorrow.
I give her a knowing smirk. And just let people settle into the dome. I'll braid Eliseo's hair in my lap while they fall asleep, because it's the best way to fall asleep. Someone playing with your hair.
True, that's facts. Them's the facts.
Them's the facts. I'm
All right.
totally asking for head scratches tonight.
Okay, so you will initiate a long rest. I think that's a good opportunity for us to end tonight. And before we do our sign-offs, I will say, despite my protesting, you will be level 9 during our next session.
How?
Yo!
You're so good
How?
to us.
So I
What?
know that happened fast, but I do we're doing benchmark leveling, or like landmark major event leveling. I forget what the phrase for that is, but point being, you leveled up before coming into Waterdeep and then had some pretty major shit happen while
Yeah,
you were
we
in
did.
Waterdeep. So that
We only spent like 4 months in game time
yeah.
in Waterdeep.
So you will be level 9 at the end of a successful long rest as we begin next session. So please handle those level ups accordingly. But for now, that's going to be the end of this session. So let's go around the table again and introduce yourselves one more time. What do you have going on? When we're going to see you next? And then this show will be back in 2 weeks. So heck, who the heck are you?
Yeah. Hey everyone, it's me, Sir Hecla. You know, oh my gosh, I like lost my voice there for a second. I got my booster today, so you know. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Hecla. And tonight I played Aster, the Shifter Circle Wildfire Druid. In terms of where you can see me next, I'm here every 2 weeks for obviously Queen's Gambit, the show you just saw, as well as Oathsworn, our Odyssey of the Dragonlords campaign, every other Tuesday. Where else can you find me? There's a lot coming up this next year, which is like so soon. That's so weird. You can find me over at Neon Lights Roleplay, soon to be every other Sunday, and then every third Thursday doing a podcast with Tynes Dungeon, who's been in the chat. So it's gonna be super duper fun. Let's move it on over to Niffer.
Hello, I'm Nifernif. I played Eliseo, the Time Wizard, a level 9 Time Wizard. Anyways, yes, I'm very excited. I am on this show, obviously Queen's Gambit. They're pretty cool. And my yes, corn dog. That was cool. Sorry, I'm distracted. um, and also on TPK, my show from this past year, soon to be last year, Cold Hands, Warm Hearts is going to return at the end of January for season 2 / maybe just end of everything we didn't get to in October. So I'm very excited to be returning to that. That's going to be in the last week of January, maybe. We're working on it, but yeah. So that's coming soon, and I'm so excited. As well as I'm returning to all of my podcasting roots. So I will probably be shouting about podcasts that I'm on because I'm getting into producing and stuff for that again, which is going to be really exciting. And I am a Jasper's Game Day ambassador for the last day of this year. This is TPK's last show, y'all, of 2021. Yay. So yeah. Good work. We did it. We made it through 2021, and so did you if you're watching this. Proud of you all. Okay, go. Go, corn dog.
It's me, corn dog. At the end of the longest day of my life. Here we go. I will not be here on Sunday for Lord of the Rings because there's no Lord of the Rings this Sunday. However, come back 2 weeks from then and watch us play Lord of the Rings together. But before then, tune in 2 Thursdays from now to see me here doing this. And eventually I'll do more things once the world settles down. But for now, off to Chrissy. Am I going the right direction? I think so.
It's okay. Either way, here I am. I'm Chrissy. I played Ulta Cragmaw, an especially sassy kobold today. She's very happy though about being level 9 because that stat increase was not sufficient for her. She was not happy. I'm just kidding. Where else can you find me? All over the place. A lot of people have said some really good things, and I'm in some of them, especially the ones that Heck talked about. The one thing I will say that we have coming in January that I'm very excited about, Madness Calls It Forth comes back for their monthly game, our monthly game, because I'm part of it. Hello. And then we also have game 1 of Emerald Expeditions, GM'd by our very own Tony Stevens. I think that's how you pronounce this.
It's totally how you pronounce it.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that. Let's see. And then we got a bunch of other stuff coming up. So I'm sure Heck or somebody else has already linked the Discord and the schedule and all the things. So check them out. And I am also a Jasper's Game Day ambassador for the coming year. So, yeah, expect me to talk about all the things and do all the charity streams. Yeah, okay, bye.
All right, and
I'm weird goodbye energy tonight.
I'm that Magic Juice. I'm the GM for this campaign, which is a year in and plenty more to go. This is reminding me because we've had a couple comments in chat about what's going on, and I'm behind on things. All of our content is both live streamed and on YouTube. So I think there's a YouTube link coming up right there. Yep. So you'll be able to find this campaign on that page in its own playlist, and the same for all of the other campaigns, short adventures, one-shots. D&D is not the only thing TPK does, so you're going to find a ton of stuff on there. But again, this campaign is on there as well. As far as my own stuff, I do run one other long-running campaign on my own channel. It's twitch.tv/that, as you see it right there. The next session of that will be not this coming Sunday, but the next one, as I run that every other week on that channel as well. So I think that's about it for the plugs tonight. This is, as others have mentioned, TPK's last show for the year 2021. It's been a ride. Thank you for everybody who's been joining us along the way, and there's plenty more to come in 2022. And I have to remind you to take a dookie before midnight tomorrow so you're not carrying that same shit into 2022. Bye.